And welcome back to Dan Dan Tony Sports. That was the hit song Nexium by the band Looking for a Cult to Join, a.k.a. me. All right. So,
that was an Albany group right there.
Heck yeah. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Nexium was an Albany, New York-based cult. Local. All right. So, you're talking about, really quickly, we were talking about the offensive linemen, and the Cowboys actually started a few different offensive linemen this year. Connor McGovern from Penn State, Taylor Biadasz from Wisconsin. And yeah, so the offensive line have really been working their asses off this season. The rookies, that is. So let's continue on with also undrafted Terrence Steele for the Dallas Cowboys. Forgot about him. Sorry, buddy. Let's continue with our ProFootballNetwork.com rankings of the top 10 NFL rookies as of Week 12, which we know is a little outdated now because we're in like Week 15. But doing a Google search, it's hard to find people doing this every week. We had Tristan Wirfs number 1. Number 2, Chase Young. Chase Young for the Washington football team, which doesn't seem like that name's going away anytime soon. And now we're about to get the Cleveland baseball team.
Bullshit.
It is what it is. It's theirs to decide, not mine. I don't care. It's just a name. Chase Young, the defensive end from Ohio State. He's it looks like he's not had a very good year. But 3 things. 1, he was injured. 2, when you're playing on the defensive line, stats don't necessarily mean anything. A lot of times, your job as a defensive lineman is to pressure the quarterback to make them make bad throws, and then your secondary end up being the heroes that benefit off of what you do, especially the defensive ends, because their entire job is to rush the quarterback. That's pretty much all they're hired for, correct? Pressuring the quarterback. And to think that they're going to get a sack every play is just stupid. So a big part of what they do is make the game difficult for the quarterback. They're not going to get a sack every play. They're not even going to get a quarterback hit every play. But if you get most quarterbacks running out of the pocket and throwing on the run, they're going to throw a bad pass depending on the quarterback a lot of times. And that is not a stat that shows up that defensive ends do. So you look at his stats, they don't look all that great. But third, and I think the biggest thing, did we not just talk a couple minutes ago about how stacked that defense is? There's not enough football to go around to feed Daron Payne, Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan, and the rest of that defense. It's just there's not enough game to be played for all of them to have killer games every game. Just not going to happen. You know? So his stats might not be the best, but believe me, his impact is absolutely felt. Which brings us to number 3, which is the opposite. Justin Herbert. All right? His impact is not really being felt because, well, let's face it, the Chargers are trash. But Justin Herbert's got the stats to back him up. All right? He is... I'm sorry, what was that? You were cutting out.
Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah, when they played the Patriots, that was just completely crazy. The Patriots destroyed them 45-3 or whatever it was. 45-7, 45-0, I don't remember.
Belichick's pretty good at facing rookie quarterbacks.
It absolutely seems it. But Justin Herbert is out there smashing records, on pace to be like the greatest rookie quarterback in the history of quarterbacks. And he looks, like I said, coming out of college, I thought, why is this guy who's just a run-pass option spread quarterback going to be making such a big impact in the NFL? And it's because even though Oregon played really well and had great records, they were using him wrong the entire time. The entire time he was the quarterback, they were using him wrong. And also, he needs to grow his hair back out because he looks fucking weird. Unfortunately for Justin Herbert, if you're drafted in the top, 10 picks, you're not going to a good team. Like all the people who are saying that adding Joe Burrow is going to make the Bengals a serious contender, you forget that their team only won 2 games last season? You actively forget that? He went number 1 overall because the team he went to was shit. So, temper your expectations. He can play really well, and everything looks great, but don't expect a team drafting in the top 5 to turn it around because they got a rookie sensation. All right. Justin Herbert, if he were on the right team, would probably be an MVP candidate right now. If he had all the same weapons that Dak Prescott had and a good offensive line, he'd be playing really well as well. He'd be better than Andy Dalton. So it's all about situation, and Justin Herbert's making the best of his situation. And I think next year, I did a little bit of a mock draft with the first 5 picks. I think Justin Herbert's going to get a huge weapon that's going to help him elevate the Chargers even more.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I can quickly run through who I have in the first 5 picks. Obviously, number 1, the Jets, Trevor Lawrence. Number 2, the Jaguars, Justin Fields. Number 3, the Cincinnati Bengals, Penei Sewell. Number 4, the Chargers with Jamar Chase, the wide receiver from LSU. And then the Cowboys at number 5, the defensive tackle from Michigan State, Pay. Or if they're looking for a linebacker, Micah Parsons from Penn State. Those are who I think fit best with the teams in the top 5. Obviously, the Bengals and the Chargers could flip. Then I don't think the Chargers would take Penei Sewell. So that doesn't make sense. I think they would still take Jamar Chase, but they would still take him at 3. Anyways, that doesn't matter. We're talking about Justin Herbert. Kid's good. Real good.
Lights out.
Yep. And then we're going to move on to number 4, Jamar Chase's former teammate in college, Justin Jefferson. Well, the Vikings got rid of Stephon Diggs and brought in Justin Jefferson. And holy shit, he's so good. He's definitely top 2 right now for Offensive Rookie of the Year. All right, it's him and Herbert, I think, are the 2. Yeah, they do NFC and AFC do offense and defense. So there's only 1 offensive, 1 defensive. I think it's going to be either Justin Jefferson or Justin Herbert. So it's a battle of the Justins. I don't know if there's been a wide receiver that I can remember who coming in a rookie season making such an impact since Megatron. You know? Obviously not saying he's going to be as good as Calvin Johnson because that's just impossible to predict. But Justin Jefferson definitely looks like the real deal and can help elevate Kirk Cousins to that caliber of quarterback that everyone who was advocating for him to get all that money thought he could be. So I really like Justin Jefferson a lot. What do you guys think about him?
I like him on my fantasy team.
Of course you do. Of course.
No, man, lights out. Once again, like Herbert. Yeah.
Yep.
So to see these kids, explode onto the scene.
It's awesome. Moving on, number 5 is the second offensive lineman on the list, and we go with Mekhi Becton, New York Jets. Now, Becton, I think, of all of the rookies, has come in and had the most positive impact because Tristan Wirfs, don't get me wrong, he's good. The rest of that offensive line was good. All right. Jedrick Wills, again, went to the Cleveland Browns. Very good. The rest of the Browns' offensive line is good enough. Where Mekhi Becton and Andrew Thomas step in with the Jets and the Giants, they went to offensive lines that were terrible. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just how bad the rest of the offensive line for the Jets is. Because the Giants' offensive line seems to be gelling. Seems like they're getting their shit together. Seems like they can actually be decent. The Jets do not. It's like they look to Mekhi Becton as the 12-year vet. You know?
Yeah, he's just a mountain of a man. And, a smart coach maybe would try and start running left like week 1 when you see that his run blocking is amazing. But I think Gase only just figured that out like a week ago, and they started running left with a lot of success because he just pancakes people. The rest of the line still